Hello, hello. Are we live? Did you hit the microphone? Unmute the microphone? Hello, everybody. Sorry for a little bit of delay. Of course, we had to do a setup. On my right side, we have Alex Ambrosie, and on the left side, the chairman. The chairman.
Future chairman, maybe.
Yes, interim. Let's all connect. I think we should be okay. Let me try to connect also to the chat. So tonight is going to be a long night, I think, for everybody. Let's let's go directly into business. So as I promised, we're starting this session discussing with two close advisors and friends of mine. And the format will be very open. We'll start answering your questions after we make a small introduction about us, our role, and everything that we're working on Shape Robotics. So we'll get directly into business. So I think that first presentation should be from the interim chairman. He's called the interim chairman, Aurel Netsin.
I used to be interim. Hi everyone. Sorry for not saying hi to everyone. And thank you for being part of this, I hope, very nice discussion. Yes, I used to be vice chairman because it was interim chairman, and after the bankruptcy
Speak to the
was
microphone.
let's say, reversed, I became again, I got a letter becoming again vice chairman of the board. So yes, I joined the board last year in the beginning of the year, and I became interim chairman when all the other they decided to leave the board in the end of November. Should I say something about me or?
Yes, I think a good
So
introduction
yeah.
is in place, should be in
So
place.
I'm 71 years old. I have a lot of experience, meaning that I graduated computer science, and I used to be in all kind of fields. So I used to work in public sector, in private sector. I used to be a teacher in a Polytechnical Institute in Cluj-Napoca. For some, for 2 years, I used to be Secretary of State at Ministry of Communication and Technology in Romania. I owned 3 or 4 companies, and I was obliged to retire. This is life, at least. I was not happy with my retirement, so I started again to be advisor to an IT distributor in Romania, a Romanian distributor, and working close with Shape in the last 3 years, and having a very good. I used to be, maybe it's the most important. I used to be for 16 years Lenovo GM in Romania, and for some years in Moldova and Bulgaria. I covered these two countries as well. And yes, I got the invitation from Shape to join the board after 1 year or 2 years of collaboration. And I joined the board last year, hoping and seeing a future, especially in education technology, and knowing how strong is Shape, at least in Romania, where I think that I still believe that more than 80% of Shape Robotics business was done in Romania, according with my knowledge. And after I became interim chairman, my job or my task was to try to conserve the company until the new EGM in order for the new board to be elected. And I had for 2 weeks I declared the standstill period in mid of December in order to permit as payments only for taxes and for salaries. And when the standstill period was finished, in 6th of December, in the same day, I got a letter that the company is bankrupt. A big surprise for me. And I think it was an illegal bankruptcy, and I'm very glad that Mark, with his energy, he practically fight a lot in order to reshape shape, if I can say this. So I still believe now that we can restart the company, and I'm looking for the next chapter of the company.
Yeah, thank you. So a thorough presentation, I think, from Aurel. It's he's this sort of a trailblazer in serial entrepreneur, how he's called in this LinkedIn posts, no, where you have to put very sophisticated naming for simple solutions. So now we have also Alex in the view. So the echo is here, but I believe that if we speak a little bit louder, you should be able to hear us very well. Everybody, we're not professional podcasters, broadcasters, so we just set it up today to be closer to you and to be able to answer your questions. So Aurel has been very close support for me and for the team, especially as he was the only and the first board member with real experience in governmental sector. Also, as everybody knows, the company has been more or less business to governmental company. This meant that most of the activities, 92%, I think, or 96, we calculated last time, were sales directly oriented towards the education, the public education sector, be it Romania, be it Poland, be it Moldova. Now I'm going to pass the microphone to Alex. I hope that everybody can see us well and can hear us well. Alex, a couple of words from your side, who you are, what you have done.
Hello, everybody. Mark, thank you for
Grab the microphone, be strong, put it to your mouth, and speak
your
like it's not tomorrow.
professional
Yes, don't break it, or if you break it, you buy it.
debate. Yeah. Mark,
Okay, now it's okay.
thank you for inviting me, and thank you for nominating me for the board. My name is Alexandru Ambrosie. I'm a lawyer for more than 20 years in Romania, but doing mainly cross-border work, capital markets, financing, public procurement in a lot of countries. Now in Denmark. I have to tell you that I don't know Mark for many years. In fact, I read his story at the beginning of the year in January, and I call Mark. Mark, I like your story. I see solid arguments for winning this battle. And after a few meetings, Mark decided to work together. Thank you for this.
He's an avid reader. I can say. Yeah. Hi, Bo. Hi,
It's
everybody.
an interesting case combining financing, insolvency, capital markets, even public procurement and EU funds for a certain extent, especially in the next for the next period. So happy to join this team. I hope you will elect me, and I will be able to help in this fight. Thank you.
Again, you can see that people are quite modest in general. Um we're trying to work this case by learning and doing. It's how we say the plan is us, because it's a very weird situation indeed, and actually, I think it's even more interesting how we met. No, Alex, our daughters, our colleagues, my daughter is here in the background. You can come and say hello if you want. Everybody supporting us to do the change. She has been just coming from say hello. She is Victoria.
Hello.
She's also collaborating with us to do a little bit of work on the channel and everything that has been happening in the last period of time. And our daughters are colleagues at MUN, know the diverse activities. So we met basically through them, and it was a quite interesting scenario because Alex is specialized in capital markets. He's one of the most esteemed lawyers in Europe in capital markets. I think you can check his CV. He's shy to tell you the true story, like also Aurel in his case. So they're a very strong team of advisors for us. And without further ado, I would suggest that we start going into the issue of Shape. Just a brief recap for everybody that is joining right now, so that we have a very clear understanding of the whole situation. We are now in 28 days after the bankruptcy annulment through of the High Court. So this is the unique decision, a decision that never occurred on the capital market of Nasdaq Nordic. There was never a case where a company should be taken out of bankruptcy after a bankruptcy has been started through an appeal. Uh, so most of the work that we have done is pioneering work. Uh, we are quite good here in Romania in bureaucracy. So I think if Romania is a country where you excel at something, that is a waste of time in papers, and which is called bureaucracy. But I think that in this case, bureaucracy has been on our side, and of course, I think it's very important that we follow the rule of law. And in Denmark, the rule of law has been very strong. I believe that it moved very fast, so we were able to take the company out of bankruptcy very legal, very fast, and extremely how to say, unanimous. It was 3-0 decision of the High Court. Procedures have not been met, and now we're talking very openly again. And if the procedures would have been met at that time, and that means that if in the 6th of January we would be able to defend ourselves in court, we wouldn't have the situation because we were ready financially. The chairman here, and we can discuss about this matter after we have a zoom in on his lovely attire tonight. Was preparing for supporting the company with a credit line with €500,000 available. So you can explain a little bit how that was supported, and what was the plan exactly to protect the interests of the company till the moment that Iris equity line, capital line was ready, and we were ready with the EGM. This is a subject that would be good to share a couple of information on the topic. But again, speak loud in the microphone. I hope everything is okay now.
Yes, after the rest of the board, I don't know, one board member he left in November or October, and the other two they left in the end of November. So I was alone. It was necessary some time in order to organize a new EGM and to work as a company listed at the stock exchange. So my decision, in order to show that I have trust in the company and in the company future, yes, I decided to buy some shares, and as well to sign a contract in order to borrow the company in order to support the cash necessary until the normal activity will be again in the company after mid of January, when the new board will be elected. This is the reason, nothing else.
Why did the board leave?
I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. We had a lot of meetings in the fourth quarter. We had in the beginning of September weekly discussion, and after that monthly discussion. It was some pressure due to A4 decision in order to repay our duty for IFO. As I know, it was a hard and difficult work done in August, September, because as I know, Shape signed two contracts at that time with Durham and Taybridge, no? These are the names. And as well, together, as part of this negotiation with Iris Capital, which was ready and I signed practically the contract in order to use convertible loans. So the idea was to give them shares, and in back they give to us money in order to do a normal business. And the most important thing at that time, and I think it was very important for all three investment companies which decided to sign contract with Shape, it was a big project in Poland. 42 million euro or
Yeah,
yes, 32,
32
32,
million
32
euros,
million
but
euro.
of course that was only the frame agreement,
It's a
so
frame agreement,
we
so it
could
was very important to find the cash in order to secure this project in Poland.
so my feeling, do you believe that this was they were afraid of the media scandals that could follow after the Carnegie situation? What do you think?
Usually in Romania, we are people in Romania. They are doing a lot of scenarios. Yes, we are very good in doing scenarios. Usually, I can't believe this kind, but putting some things head to head, it seems that it was a something somebody I don't know has to do and to kill the ship.
What do you think, Alex, about this situation with Carnegie and let's say pump and dump analysis? Because I think that was the first.
Yes, yes, yes. In January, you started to write about the pump and dump. I read the story and then I called you. It was clear from the beginning that this company was in a rather good commercial situation. You had a lot of partners that believed in your company and willing to invest cash and also shares. You're telling, yeah, I think you told me about a US investor who decided to invest in that year. So a lot of professional investors are willing to invest in the company. Then Mark filed an official complaint against.
What do you think about the complaint itself? Because you read it, you're one of the few that read it thoroughly. It was quite a comprehensive complaint. And I remember that we talked very late in the evening. At some point, you asked me a lot of questions about how the defense lawyer, like the devil's advocate, let's say, a strategy that we always discuss right now, and what would be their defense. As you know, even finance has said, maybe it was some market information that they had and that's why they sold. I think that was the discussion at the time. What do you think about
Yeah,
that?
I will revert to this. Then Mark files an official complaint for insider dealing and market manipulation. And immediately after that, after a few days, one of the biggest financial newspaper, financial,
It was a coincidence.
yes, coincidence, who never wrote about Shape Robotics or about Mark, decided to write, I think, 17.
No, right now I think we are superstar 30, 30, 40. I don't even remember.
So they decided to independently, let's say, write almost daily articles against Shape Robotics and against Mark. That was very interesting. How small, let's say, I think it is a small company for Denmark, triggered so much attention for one of the biggest financial platform in Denmark. And I repeat, before that, this newspaper never wrote about Shape Robotics or about Mark. Also, the financial results in the last, I think, 2 years or 3 years were spectacular. You increase the turnover.
If 800%, I don't know. I think that's we started when the company was purchased. The company Story Kids was purchased by Shape Robotics. The revenue of Shape Robotics was 800,000 euros. And yeah, so we reached 88 million euros in total of sales from the acquisition of Shape Robotics Romania in the last 3 years. So
And having a very challenging target for 26 or
yeah,
27
it
for
was, yes, 1 billion
for 1
crowns.
million Danish crowns.
Yeah, so it was quite yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it seems clear that it is not a company that was on the verge of
Death.
bankruptcy.
It was a company cash challenge indeed, and we know that there was a challenge in the cash flow that was. And of course, this meeting is to disclose as much as possible the challenges that we have in the past. Also with Aurel knowing almost the full story of the last year, let's say, of
Yeah.
Shape Robotics in that respect. And Aurel joined when we were managing to vote the budget for this year, 25, the year that basically we are trying to close right now to meet the financial standards required by a public listed company. And we had a budget approved with a 28 million euro
Yes. Yeah.
loan necessary to be
We
voted, to be attracted by end of
Yeah,
20.
looking to the business plan for 2025, yes, it was obvious that we need more than 20 million euro in order to close all the projects from the pipeline. This was clear in May, March. We had
Yes.
the first board, and everyone accepted this target and this, let's say, financial requirement in order to have another successful year.
But projects that you had already won in Poland and other
It
countries.
was it was one in the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah. But we know about the opportunity in Poland, which was huge. It is huge still.
It's still not.
Close.
It's theoretically still under our
Ongoing.
yeah, under our ownership in a form
Yeah.
or another, because the contract still exists. But I just, you know, the company and everybody was challenging had this sort of difficulties with longer cash flow. We all discussed many times that this is governmental.
Exactly. You mentioned that practically Shape sold mainly to the government, and at least in Romania, we know all of us that we have a very bad financial behavior. This is clear.
And very long payment
And
terms.
very long payment terms. Yeah.
And I think this is also general for other countries where you have European funds. The cycle is between 6 and 9 months. We
Yeah.
have made this public all the time. So all this, how to say, negative and toxic environment that was built by finance around the company doesn't have any sort of support. And we have proven it even the other day when, unfortunately, we had to find out working during the weekend for the lawsuit that we have with finance in Romania, finding out that, for instance, the former chairman Jeppe Franzen had a bankruptcy case that nobody was aware of, that was happening exactly in 24 when, or finalizing in 24 during negotiations, hard negotiations with AIFO. Many people have questioned us, but not disclosing AIFO. But I think that this is something that we'll come back to as a question. Um, yeah, exactly like we have our magnifique Marcelinho, I will call you from now. But the board had a specific of O2C matters, so the business nature is not an excuse. I think we didn't go to the same business school, Marcel, so translate OTC, because I learned in Lugos it means over the counter, I think, or something like that. So translate to me what it means if we had a specialist. So coming back to the format, we will try to go as much as possible order to cash. No, we didn't have such a specialist in the company, or I don't know what you mean. I think these are
We can learn.
you understand. Do not be pushy. Okay, I don't understand. I will be pushy. I need the Red Bull, yes, to understand you better. So, coming back to the format tonight, we basically this team that you see here is working almost 24/7 right now to try to put Shape back on track. I The EGM is going quite well. It's an extraordinary general meeting where a lot of questions will be answered, because that means that we will have authority in the end on Shape Robotics, an authority that is given by the shareholders. And I will let Alex, let's say, explain a little bit on what. Um, the legal environment around Shape Robotics looks like, because this is one of the topics that will be extremely interesting for shareholders to find out, because everybody has been asking us what is the business, what's left of the business of Shape Robotics with all this crisis and everything that happened. And I will allow Alex just to make a small summary from a perspective of a specialist of those 59 days of bankruptcy that were directed, or how to say, were under the stewardship of the curator Thijs Gulitz Wormslev from Kroman, to analyze their behavior, to analyze the fact that we had a lot of issues and we are basically in the situation that we have to redo the accounting ourselves. So let's start a little bit from the beginning. Let's start from the moment of the bankruptcy and the annulment itself, and what does the annulment mean in for everybody to understand, because there were a lot of speculations that the annulment means that only the paperwork was not right, but the company is de facto bankrupt, and all these stories left and right around the company. Maybe you could give an explanation for everybody what a decision from the High Court means in terms of application, and what the trustee should have done and would need to do in general after that.
Yeah, the High Court in only 59 days, uh, Mark alone, in fact, was able to file the appeal, to obtain a hearing, and to win the case. All three judges canceling the decision of the first year court. So starting with March, I don't remember the
5th of March.
March, 59 days, yes. The company is no longer in bankruptcy. It is a normal company that is trying to and will be trying to recover the damages, thousands of millions, caused in only 59 days by the former administrator, curator. I
Curator,
think
and the term is
in
curator in Danish, but
curator
yeah,
in
in
Danish.
Romanian is administrator.
Before before the insolvency, the company had good projects already on, a good pipeline of commercial projects.
It
Had
only
full
needed cash, basically.
had only because he had too many projects
Yes.
ongoing and too many projects granted by public authorities in several countries. Had I think four subsidiaries:
Poland,
Poland,
two in Romania, to recap for everybody, one in Moldova, and one in Finland, which was freshly bought
yes.
in mid of the year.
And for example, the company from Finland was bought in 2025, I think,
Yes, couple of months before the.
for around 8 million euros. It was an
Yes,
independent evaluation report that determines this around 8 million euros. In only 59 days, the curator decided, without any evaluation, that the value of this Finnish
assets.
company is zero. And basically, he decided without any evaluation, without having economic background, that all four subsidiaries value, guess what, zero.
How can this happen? How do you do that in a normal? Let's, because we are in the European Union. Denmark is in the European Union, and while this was happening, they just finished the presidency of the European Union in 20.
Denmark, yeah.
Yeah. So how this is European regulation that apply in general, of course, taking consideration that for everybody to understand, Denmark is the only country that is not part of the UNICTRAL, so the union of the insolvency, the unified insolvency law, no, of the EU. So it didn't participate into that. That means that the decisions of the courts, of the bankruptcy courts in Denmark, do not apply naturally immediately in other countries, which is not the case. For instance, if the company was Romanian and we had a branch in Denmark,
Yes.
the bankruptcy decision from Romania would be immediately, in Poland, not Denmark. Denmark doesn't recognize, would be immediately recognized in Poland or any other country. So Denmark bankruptcy was not recognized by the subsidiaries. So how could he write it down? Is it something that he missed, or is it something that he just did wrong?
This is a very interesting issue. I don't know the answer. But what I find very interesting is that in any insolvency, the curators are trying to sell the assets, to recover money, to distribute money to the creditors. Here, and usually this takes years, not 59 days. In this case, probably the only case in the history of insolvency, in 59 days, he, instead of evaluating the assets, instead of trying to sell the assets, instead of trying to finance the project, he just considers that all assets are zero value. No value for these assets, and obviously no distribution to the creditors,
No dividend.
no dividend for the creditors. It seems that this curator came with a clear mind, with a clear decision to liquidate the company as soon as possible. Although he was aware that there is an appeal ongoing and that there is a possibility in appeal the judges to overturn the decision of the first tier, of the first tier, which eventually this happened. Yeah, I don't understand why this curator did this, how he was able to destroy everything in 59 days for the company and also for the creditors, those that he was supposed to protect the company and the creditors indirectly.
We discussed about coincidence at the end of November when, let's say, finance started to write articles about Mark and about Shape.
Immediately after the
Immediately
claim.
after, but I have another two questions. One is accepting the fact that they declare zero value of the company, even looking to 100 million, let's say, revenue last year. But how is possible to close so fast Finnish subsidiary, meaning Sanaco,
To make it bankrupt.
to making to close? Practically, it's closed, making bankrupt. Yes, and why they didn't look to Romania or Poland? Looking to Romania, where's a big business?
I have an answer for you, I think, then for everybody, because yesterday we made a disclosure, and that disclosure was related to. We had two episodes yesterday and the other day about Sanako, and I think that, of course, this is a little bit of a speculation in the end, but this case has been surrounded by speculation that turned to be quite not speculations, let's call it like that. So it's quite obvious what the plan was. But let's try to bring stronger proof, also not from my side at least, because I think that everybody at this table understood that Denmark, being a trust system and being a publicly traded company, trust is the most important aspect. The character assassination campaign against me, with something that we will discuss most likely at a certain point. I don't think this is the venue for that, because there were files taken from court sealed files and shared to finance. That's another story. We will go into that. We already have a lawsuit there. I don't think that's necessarily to make public. But the more important aspect is that a newspaper, a very good newspaper, theoretically, okay, has done a poor job in finding things about Shape. They just found some things about me, and the obvious things about Shape AE4 and the conflict and the parallels insolvency we just made public. But what they are trying to do is also created a situation which say that there is a criminal case in Finland regarding some money that was taken out of. This is absolutely absurd, because we presented yesterday Finland, Romania, Poland, Denmark, everybody in the group had an agreement which is called the cash pool agreement, where money was being paid from one subsidiary to the others in terms of by the terms of the contract with no interest rate, so that this is very typical for corporations. Now, cash pool, I think it's something that everybody has everywhere in the world. And the Finnish trustee is claiming that the company Sanako was stolen or defrauded, okay? And all the money, we just showed you that the Finnish trustee just showed us himself that the money left to Shape were sent to Shape Robotics Denmark. So who stole the money? Okay, so I know what they're looking for right now, but the idea is that the only country in Europe that we had subsidiaries was Finland, where they have obtained a court order. Theis obtained a court order to recognize his bankruptcy fast. Because and yes, he didn't do anything with the biggest subsidiary, which is Romania, and also then Poland, that was
Poland.
taken over for the contract, because he was required. And you remember that he uh, lost a lot of trust also when he showed that wise Belgium didn't recognize his ruling over the bank accounts. And uh, yeah, he didn't care, so he just ordered everybody to pay around, and where he could obtain the immediate court files he did, and he closed those companies. His mandate was to close, but pay attention, very important, he closed it only in the interest of Danske, who, by the way, is a creditor that is unsecured. So, uh, long story short, he did it probably. We don't have documents, and this is another topic that I want to discuss with Alex, because a lot of questions surrounding this behavior. Um, it's impossible to understand how a lawyer of Danske becomes instantly the trustee that is basically only taking care of Danske. This is a huge conflict of interest, very, very unusual for the market, I would say. Have you seen this in other territories?
We need to see his also his conduct approach after Mark was reinstated. Mark, you were reinstated almost 1 month ago.
Yes.
On 5th of March, you are now a full director since March
De jure?
5th. Have you recovered the books of the company? Have you recovered
The cash?
money, the cash of the company?
Nothing.
Have you recovered document to understand how the Finnish company was closed in several days, basically?
Alex, I think we can be very open, and you can also share to our viewers the fact that, and I appreciate a lot of you joined as, of course, the biggest uh, venue today. Uh, what do you think about that explanation? So that the only dialogues, let's make it very clear for everybody. We have received one single document that was the list of creditors,
Creditors, yeah.
the creditors, which we will explain also later on a little bit about what the creditor list means, and how from only a couple of million of euros in the next 6 8 months that was due, we arrived to a position with 500 million crowns, and how the contamination of the bankruptcy in Denmark applied, because basically through the bankruptcy in Denmark, we started to see a process of contaminating the daughter companies, the fully owned subsidiaries, and we will go into that a little bit later. But more important, what I would say is, uh, how is it possible that, first of all, the trustee only gives us that list, he doesn't return the money, and he doesn't give us the documents necessary to administer the company, in the sense that nobody wants to look at the obvious facts. In the 59 days he was trustee, he took decisions. And those decisions were in the name of the company, not in the name of him personally. So he doesn't own those documents. And more than that, I believe that we have proven from our point of view that he had more obligations. He had disclosure obligations, which we see no announcement on the market. So what do you think about this scenario, and what would normally happen in such a situation, and what is he hiding in the end? Because I believe that's the question.
The simple answer is that it's not possible. Legally, it's not possible. He doesn't have, obviously, the right to keep the money belonging to the company, keep the documents. Today, you cannot keep the account. You cannot
I cannot do accounting.
organize
Nothing.
the accountancy of the company.
Even today we worked out before the live. I want to everybody to understand, just to recuperate goods in the warehouse in Romania that was almost sold at a dump price by some hawk bailiff that liquidates some of the assets that he found in one warehouse.
We may only assume for the moment that somehow he avoids providing the documents. But then eventually he will be obliged to provide the document. It's not possible to avoid this for such a long period of time. In the meantime, he is continuing to cause other damages to the company.
Yes, we should close financial statements.
Yes.
What happens?
I think you already filed a complaint against him.
We did file the complaint against that. The very weird aspect here is, what do you think about? I think a lot of our the questions were surrounding by the fact that he created that escrow account hiding the money that he recuperated. So, first of all, the contract. Let's have a discussion on that topic. Like the contract that we signed as Shape Robotics at the end of 25 with A4 and Danske Bank, right, meant that we should pay some
It was a payment plan.
payment plan.
Payment plan.
That contract, we have proven from our point of view and our expertise that it's not uh, fully signed. The ceremony to sign the contract is sloppy. It was made under pressure by a very strong group of companies, A4, Kronman Reumert, and Danske Bank. And you were part of the board at that time.
We paid the first installment.
We paid the first installment, and still Kronman Reumert, instead of withdrawing from the bankruptcy, went and asked us to ask the court to be a trustee and to support the bankruptcy. So, what does this mean legally? They wanted the bankruptcy from the beginning. It shouldn't they be in the situation where, like every other creditor in case of bankruptcy, they should come and put a claim based on that contract?
It's very likely that the curator has, from the beginning, in fact, defended the interest of one creditor or two creditors. So even after he was revoked, instead of returning the money to the company, he somehow decided to block the money and continuing to favor the same creditor, Danske Bank. So at the beginning, it was only a speculation. At the end, it seems that
It's a fact.
it's a fact. Legally, you cannot explain why not returning the money to the owner and instead making the money available to a creditor after
I will just arrange it for you.
after the moment the curator had already been revoked.
But is this a coordinated? Do you believe that their only hope was that the company will become bankrupt again fast? So that's the reason why they're hiding everything. Now it's not the case anymore because we won the second time in court, and our goal was to have this delay. This delay is it's a win case for us, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
But why cancel the EGM? Wouldn't that be a normal procedure to allow the EGM to go through when knowing that there is a appeal?
Depends if you want to save the company or if you want to kill the company.
Okay, let's consider that there is no save. The company is in bankruptcy. That means liquidation. But in the end, there is an appeal. That's not a definitive solution. Shouldn't you stall and wait till the appeal is done before you commit to certain activities to liquidate the company or to valuate the assets?
Yes, of course.
It's normal
If you
to
are
protect. If you are
protecting, if you are doing your job and protect the company, in the first place, you don't liquidate, you don't take definitive measures during the appeal stage.
Yes, but I think, as I know, it's the first case. Such a case in Denmark, yes.
Yeah,
For
but it-
bankruptcy in order to be reverted.
yeah, and
So
what do
nobody thought that something will be changed.
But I don't think it works in this scenario to have opinions on what you should do. It's in the
We
end.
speculate at the end,
But
yes.
first of all, you communicate to the market. We're a public listed company, and being a public listed company, you have the obligation to discuss, to present this information publicly when you do an
Because we
evaluation.
have 4,800 shareholders.
So, what do you think, Alex? Is it normal behavior? You've seen so many publicly listed companies, and you work for the biggest American companies, and in such a scenario, obligations to disclose exist or do not exist?
Exist for sure, they exist. These are material information. This is material information. The curator had the obligations and the opportunity to disclose a lot of information during this 2 months period. For example, when he liquidated the Finnish company, this is for sure material information. When he
Cancel DGM.
valued at zero, another material information.
EGM cancellation.
Cancellation of the GMS, where an investor was supposed to come and to bring money, again another material information.
So, all in all, you would say that we're fighting an uphill battle, guys. And one of the most important aspect here is that we're trying to, with the team here, we're trying to get more representation for the shareholders. As right now, it's a very let's say weak battle that we're having against the establishment of the banks combined with the big lawyer houses, as we do not have this sort of legitimacy that an EGM would offer us at this moment. So, all in all, you can see that we have a team of specialists. We will do also, of course, introduction to Kim Okola in separate. He's in Dubai, and he needs to call us when he's in Finland due to some of the issues that you see in Dubai. He's very busy there. Let's take some of the questions now. We'll continue to discussion. Let's take some of the questions from the people. Hi, Lasse. Hi, Valentin Nicolae. Lasse says there was a discussion on Nordnet today pertaining to the two Finnish majority shareholders. According to the Danish company register, they are not listed there, but Shape Robotics made public announcements about them. So I'm curious if they're still holding shares. So let me be very direct and open to you. We don't know. We don't have access to the live VP information, and most of you have to understand something, that the trade of the shares of Nasdaq Nordic is happening for people that are not Danish citizens. Is happening either on Saxo, where we receive some VP information, or it's happening through brokers. Therefore, I believe that the Finnish shareholders could be still shareholders at this moment. We are not in communication with them at this moment, because I believe they're quite upset, or maybe they are part of the whole scenario that is happening in Finland. We don't have enough resources to go there. The idea is that we make this very simple, open platform where people can vote. Everybody is invited to vote there. But I don't believe there is an obligation for these shareholders to be present in the CVR in Denmark. Okay, so right now it is what it is. The information is correct, is valid.
It was a discussion regarding my shares, yes, if you remember.
Yeah, you have the same
They
situation.
started to look if I have or not. They checked me. They call the broker, which is almost impossible. They call the broker.
Finance, yes.
Finance.
So yeah, there is this situation that unfortunately is not under our control. We always had this issue, and it's omnibus. That's the purpose of using omnibus in the end. One more question: who has the most to gain out of this coordinated attack against Shape, and how do they benefit if it goes bankrupt? I think it's quite easy answer from my point of view. Of course, I will not ask the gentleman to be commenting on this situation, as their role is to represent the shareholders in the upcoming let's say, battles, taking in consideration that they should still keep their independence in this sense, and they have their own opinion. Um, I believe that who has the most to gain out of this is the fact that we made a noise in the market that is unusual for such a small, concentrated market that is the Nasdaq Nordic market in basically in Copenhagen. So we're talking about a very small community compared to other larger markets where there is more oxygen and more breathing space, like for instance Sweden, let's say, as a Nordic comparison. Everybody knows everybody, and by us going to that pump and dump, and we will come back to the topic, I think, right now. Um, we kind of show the case that happens in many other situations in the small cap and the first nord markets, where some strong players come in and they basically liquidate positions from retailers. So it's a retail extraction scheme. We made it public. We made it. Brought the proof, and this is not something that people like. And they thought that they could apply same methodology of character assassination. You won't get a job in Denmark. Actually, I don't need a job in Denmark. So we are here trying to unravel the mysteries of the situation and to make sure that everybody will recuperate all the lost money. So it was a very simple operation to called in Latin compromat, the other Latin, the Eastern Latin. So what do you think, Alex, with the pump and dump? Tell us a little bit more, because you've seen this many times, in my opinion. Also, being a white collar defense lawyer, I guess you've seen it too many times.
Well, in fact, it is not so present because pump and dump is a very basic manipulation approach, a very basic price manipulation. And in small markets like, let's say, Denmark market or similar, it is very obvious. You cannot miss it if you look, if you pay attention, and if you want to discover the truth, you can see this information. So I don't know if they used to do this many times in the past, but in case of Shape Robotics, it is obvious. It is a standard and basic pump and dump. Mark has provided, I think in January, a timeline of all the events, a calendar with everything what happened, and it's clear, you can see there that it was a coordinated action of an important analyst and some other important shareholders and economy business and businessmen in Copenhagen.
But what do you think? Everybody that I discussed about this topic has shared or played with the idea with two ideas. Okay, one was that this was a back of the envelope analysis that triggered the pump. So for everybody to understand, there was a moment where the share price went up. Some people sold a lot of shares coordinated on the 26th of April 2024. And then basically from that point, it was a flushing downturn of events that destroyed the trust into the share price, which is basically the exchange, the etiquette of the company. I don't know, the business card of the company on the investor side. So there are two elements that we can discuss here. One was very material, the fact that there was of this back of the envelope analysis done by one of the most renowned, if you can say that, analyst in Denmark, Lars Stockholm. He did a back of the envelope analysis on Shape Robotics that circulated across markets outside Denmark, more or less.
He said it. I mean, he believed in his analysis. Also, it was the final
Was it a back of the
assessment.
envelope, or was it an analysis from Carnegie
Call it the back of the envelope analysis, but using the Carnegie email, he sent it
with his signature?
with his signature, official signature. He sent it to many of the big traders and investment banks in Europe. So if he called it a sort of draft or a sort of preliminary analysis, but
Back of the envelope, he said.
such a analyst doesn't send preliminary drafts to everybody in Europe,
US.
to US, if he doesn't, if he didn't believe in this assessment.
Questions. Do you believe this was a back of the envelope analysis or not? Because I find it extremely, uh, how to say, superficial to even take in consideration this kind of argument. Because at one point, you remember, Aurel, we have made, after this situation, we made several, you started seeing this after you joined the board at the beginning of 25. We had a lot of internal discussions about this unusual trading pattern that was documented by the legal team, and we tried to discuss with the board inside the board again to disclose it at the beginning of 25 or to try to find another solution, and we got to point communication, no?
Yeah.
So can you share a little bit of the dynamics about this topic into the inside the board? What was what bothered them at that time? Because I believe everybody was accepting the fact that we were manipulated by somebody, but nobody wanted to do anything. No, what you
My personal view is the fact that they are Danish people, they are living in Denmark, so it's not a good image for them to disclose such kind of information because it's a kind of personal, how to say, image for them. Yes. And maybe they didn't believe they have a lot of friends. As you said, Denmark is a small country at the end. Everyone knows everyone. So I think it's a matter of, how to say, to
career,
save their skin, yes, and to save their career.
and this is why they left in the end. After,
This is my personal view, so.
because I remember that I was like a permanent guest of the board meetings, more or less. That meant that every time, and even our board folder shows it, we raised some of these topics regarding AFO, things that were not functioning, this pump and dump, this, and instead of trying to break away from the problem and make it in a sort of, announcing it, first of all, the retail investors what is happening, because we made these live events, if you remember, and the only solution was talk nicely, do not test, talk to the. So it was quite difficult for us to.
Practically, they managed the relationship in Denmark, yes, with Danske and with the IFA.
So the audit committee,
Yeah,
just to name
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So we're talking about, for everybody to understand,
Yeah.
the company had an audit committee. That audit committee, I will add to this clip exactly the audit committee formation and some of it. This was Jeppe Franzen and Annette. That committee handled the financing aspects and all of this, and of course the investor relation, which was more or less one of the board's activities, and the chairman of the board. This was outsourced to point communication.
Yeah.
What do you think about that outsourcement and that cost? Because I need to explain something to you. Aurel was one of the most vocal board members, because also Moises was, when he was part of the board, said the same. That's one of the reasons he left, one of the founders. It was a mistake to uplist to the main market, wouldn't you say so?
I said from the beginning, even I didn't know the story of the company, but first of all, it's a small market, and secondly, with a huge cost. When I counted for the first time, it was around 1 million per year only for being listed to the first market, which is for me, it's unbelievable because the company was still small, and 1 million euro is very difficult to produce as a profit at the end. Yeah, it was even the gross margin was huge. But yes, it was one of my first observation regarding this listing as the first stock, first
Main market from
main
the first
market,
note.
yeah. I said from the beginning.
So now, very honestly,
And-
would you have voted towards this?
No,
No.
no. and a lot of other things. Yes, auditor. I think we had to have two auditors
Price
because
Waterhouse
yeah,
Plus, yes, because
two.
of
Yeah,
IFRS
yeah.
plus the
Yes,
auditors
it was
locally.
another, let's say, problem or mistake from my side having very detailed quarterly reports. Yes.
Again, not necessarily to have.
Again, unnecessary. So, from my point of view, even I didn't have such much experience in a board, but from business perspective, it is a mistake.
Yeah, unfortunately, none of us were part of that decision for the uplisting. It was taken when when I became CEO. It was almost 6 7 months into that. It was. It's also part of our claim. In the EGM, we have an authorization for claim against damages created by the directors and officers, and we will continue to evaluate that avenue to see whether this three things, the A4 situation, the uplisting, and Carnegie, were treated correctly at the board level. We believe there is material evidence that it was not correctly treated or mistreated, and there is a claim, and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it to understand exactly in the end who was doing the diligence when we should have found out that AE4 was a no-go after the
Yeah.
uplisting. Is it true? As I remember earlier, you didn't manage to receive any documents showing that AE4 informed us
No,
or that we found out.
no,
So you think it's also a mistake from AE4?
no.
You don't
I,
think that?
I think that A4 sent some information to the board. I believe, I think it's normal because we are talking a very solid company. So I don't believe that. Maybe the board received it. I don't know. It's another
You didn't
speculation.
see it.
I didn't see it.
As a board member, you should have
I
seen. So
didn't see it.
basically, either it was sent and hidden, like the parallel situation, like the bankruptcy,
Yeah, yeah.
or it was never sent, or it was forgotten. Still, it's negligence, and this it is what it is. It's a good question here from Eric Winter. What is the objective from here? Is it to get some compensation, or it to get the company up and running again? No, compensations are not an objective. Are
Yeah.
compensations are mandatory. It's not an objective here. This will happen. That our goal is to start the company. To restart the company, first of all, we need to do to get legitimacy. We need to, as I said, this is a board with a management that has a mandate for a year. Our focus is to get a proper understanding of how we can reconsolidate and restart from the point we are today. So we cannot change the past. There were mistakes before that. We will make mistakes again. It's normal. It's part of administering a company. What we are trying to do is to see what we can um, utilize as a core of restarting the business. For that reason, right now we are analyzing contracts like Bechtle to see whether we can return it, what financing can we get, so on and so forth. But the reason why also Alex is part of the board right now is that we have a specialist in the board, because board is critical to have skills for exactly the area where we will have need of, and he will manage from inside the company the compensation package. So me with Kim and with Aurel to focus on the team, to reconstruct the team and to do business. Our goal is to do business, and we have spent so much time into that direction. That's why we're back. Otherwise, we could have went skiing. And there is a very good question also, just to put a parenthesis. People ask me why Aurel was not present. Aurel was always present in the background, but Aurel is not, while CEO, he's a very decent human being here with a lot of experience, not like me, a little bit crazy. Therefore, trust me, he was here, he was always supporting,
I
and
joined all the calls. So.
exactly, he was always in the
From
calls
time
and
to time, you saw me saying hi.
and
Was
bye.
the sound is bad, so
But he was here. So to Alex now, what you have seen such happenings, let's call it like that, inside the companies on the globe. Where do you think is the battle that we have to take legally? Where is the what should be the focus of the of your, let's say, mandate in this sense for the company and the shareholders in the end? Because in my opinion, shareholders were not even in question till now. So till now we were talking about the creditors maybe, and shareholders were zero from the beginning. So I would say that right now we have to give some sort of clarity how we want to recuperate uh, something, or as much as possible everything to the shareholder side. So to put this back in the past, and I think for that reason there has to be a compensation package. What are the directions in your opinion? Preliminary.
Of course, it all started with a pump and dump and with a market manipulation. But in my view, I see a significant liability at the board level, who apparently covered that pump and dump. Investor lost trust, share price went down a lot. I don't remember the number, but
Directly from 49.51 to 27 in a very short 2 months span. I never recovered from it, so only on a downward step.
in my view, by covering this pump and dump, which probably at the beginning was independent without involving the board, but later when the board decided not to alert the authorities but to cover it, probably that was the beginning of the insolvency situation, and which further favor the appointment of the curator. And the curator will have his own liability for destroying the subsidiaries. It will be a separate line of challenge of work. But if at the beginning the board of director would have done their job, probably the insolvency wouldn't have been possible.
So you think it's a direct link between this accelerated, pushed bankruptcy, hastily done bankruptcy, and the pump and dump? It started from there.
It started with a pump and dump. The board has a duty to stop it, to alert the market and to regain the trust of the shareholders.
So
The board failed to do this.
sorry, just for everybody to understand, I think that the global dynamics of the stock exchange don't necessarily apply to smaller markets in that sense. We have the same situation also in Bucharest. So from that perspective, so let me just translate. So Alex is saying that basically the reason, the main issue here is to alert the investors about this situation, correct? To have this,
Yes.
not necessarily the authorities, but at least come clean and explain that you are undertaking some measures to prevent it, to have this open dialogue with the investors, correct?
In pump and dump situation cases, the speed of the board for alerting the authorities and for alerting the
Is crucial.
investor is crucial.
So you have to do it as soon as you see the trading pattern, correct?
Not to lose the trust of the shareholders, because normally the investors, when they see that the board is doing nothing, while pump and dump was, I think, in
March, no, sorry, in
few
April
weeks,
24, yes.
in 2-3 weeks,
Yeah, period of couple of weeks, yes.
the retail investors and probably then the professional investors, many of them left. This being most probably the reason of the accelerated decrease of the share price.
Don't forget about EIFO, which was in parallel, yes? The fact that after uplisting to the main market, EIFO decided after
pull
a
the
while to take money back. It was another reason for the situation, yes?
Yeah, but
It's an independent, a parallel reason.
it's a more direct thing, I think, for than and separate in, so that everybody can understand. And Alex is a specialist in stock exchange. So our problem here is that AIFO could have happened only because of parallels, maybe. Let's speculate, but there is a question that we can have with AIFO, and we have made a full communicate that our interest is to work with governmental institutions as closely as possible. So we have committed towards AE4 for full repayment, and we have that support. So our goal is to support AE4. Okay, not Danske. Again, let's separate Danske, Kroman. These are private institutions. AE4 is the government. Therefore, our goal is to try to fill this gap as much as possible and to close that open, let's say, parenthesis in this. But here more is about the dialogue with the market. So you would say that the board has the obligation to
Yes, of course.
even if they consider inside the board that this is the situation, or they have to wait for some sort of authority to do their job. Are there overlapping, or this is something that is many people
From
don't
what I
understand that
understand, they didn't do anything.
they didn't do anything, that's for sure. No,
They
but in
didn't
general,
alert the authorities. They didn't alert the shareholders. They just looked at the pump and dump.
and put
And
some sort of communication strategy on top of that, lie to the people, no, in the end.
although they were aware, and I think you said that they were alerted by you,
They were alerted by other
by
shareholders
other
first because I found
shareholders,
out from them, yeah.
and still they didn't do anything.
Okay, so that's something that we'll discuss, and in the end, knowing how this operates, large investors have possibilities to see weird trading patterns in the market, correct?
Many of them, but professional investors are able to see this better on the spot.
Okay, so just to make things very clear, I had numerous communication with professional investors that all of them have raised this question, and most of them believe that we had something to do with it, because nobody normal in their normal behavior would hide such a situation for long. But now, just to ask the question that I wanted to ask from the beginning, is it possible to defend this case also in the public? There was this discussion that they acted on information when they did the dump. Is this an excuse for this pattern and everything?
Uh, who acted on
The
information?
people that did the pump and dump, now everybody, Lars Stockholm and the crew, is it possible that they acted on information that was public and only them saw this like smart money?
Hardly to believe this.
But
The
it's maybe
analyst
their
is
only
a
defense, no?
well famous analyst with, I think, 35 years of experience. It's not too difficult to understand the situation of a small
Shape.
company. Cannot.
So you cannot say that today you invested and forget to sell
And
to
in two
tell people.
weeks, we are selling. I mean, in April 24, I think, or
Yeah,
April,
26,
he
26.
said it is a very good company.
And 24, he said yes, very good, but in the meantime on
The price
26,
should be triple in 1 year period. And after 2 weeks, without happening anything in between, he sold all his shares.
Not mentioning that he owns shares.
when they're doing the analysis. So just to summarize for people that are watching here, um, the main point where we start the whole strategy of claims would be linked to finance, of course, that is started already, but there's a separate track where we do it here in Romania. Then, of course, we need to solve the situation with Carnegie. That's a very difficult. This is where we start, basically, no?
Yes.
So we start from Carnegie, and this situation with Kroman and Danske are not related to that. This situation with Kroman in the end will be solved, in my opinion, sooner rather than later, because after the EGM, I presume that they don't have any more excuses to hide the documents or to continue the same behavior. I would presume that when you give them the first phone call as a board member, they will have to pick up the phone, I would presume.
Yeah, they are not related, they are independent situations. The lawyer was representing for many years Danske Bank. Probably Danske Bank is a
And
big
Carnegie,
client. And
and
Carnegie.
Carnegie, yes.
Probably Danske Bank is a big client. He wanted to protect his client. That's understandable. Shape Robotics, on the contrary, was a very small company led by a Romanian citizen. Probably he thought that he is able to kill Shape Robotics in a matter of days.
So this, just to conclude, board brings legitimacy. It will be very difficult for these companies not to pick up the phone to this fine gentleman here. So I will presume that we just have a couple of more weeks to wait, and in the meantime, let's see some more questions. Mr. Netzinius were supposed to have the moral duty to communicate with us, the investors being a decent. This is mandatory. I want to understand why we heard exactly 0 words from his side. Did you assign roles between you? You, Mark, as the communicator, and Mr. Netzin as the brain? No, it's not about that. I think, Aurel, you can reply.
No, but it was not my role till December. Now if the board will be elected, yes, it's my obligation, it's my duty, it's not obligation to communicate with the investor monthly, yes. And at least in the beginning of, after the EGM, in a reconstruction phase to organize monthly board meetings in order to uh, follow and to see and to, yes, the execution of the program, restoration program. So no, it's about communication, but we communicate when we have something to communicate. Yes, this is clear. So communication with the investor is very important. I assume it's, and I believe in this.
Also, to be honest, in this scenario, it was very hard. You have to understand that contamination is critical in such situations, and it's not, you don't see such campaigns that we had till now that basically overturned some things that are not overturnable in some somebody's had an idea, but it takes a toll. It takes a toll, and you require certain style and stamina to do that, and also something that for our Romanian viewers is called miserupism. And that means that you have nothing to lose, and that means that you can do things. Yeah, they're laughing. It's Romanian is a very beautiful language when it comes to this kind of words. So it means that you don't care about the consequences and you just go through it. But yeah, we are here, and in the end, hopefully, this will be soon past, and we can focus on business, and we can focus on uh, doing what we always did. Okay. So again, just to understand, I heard just descriptive words regarding the gens, but not really experience status. So any relevant roles, any companies, why are you suited, any unfair advantage, anything at all. Marcel, you are very, how to say, demanding, let's call it like that. There is a lot of experience, and we're not just going to put this experience other than the CVs that you can find on the website. The roles, just to summarize again, Alex here will take care of the of course the legal, yes, they're fair questions, the legal aspects, and which are crucial at this
Crucial
moment,
now,
crucial
yeah.
at this moment. And together with Aurel,
It's about.
will restart the business, and Kim will be focusing on new business. So basically, that's the scenario. Let's see other people questions. Let's go through them, please. We will make o pauză de vorbire, a break for our tongues. Let's refresh some water. Yeah, let's. If nobody fell asleep from our own. I'm not pushing you to other sources, Marcel. It's just let's try to focus on their presence here to answer questions that are related to to the future of the company, and of course to unravel some of the mysteries around the legal crisis at Shape, because we're basically having a legal crisis. Hi Jens, what investment is needed to get up and running? This is a very good question. Depends uh, what is the economics, what is the economic cycle where we are, because there is an economic life of the company before the bankruptcy, there is an economic life or death during the bankruptcy, and now there is a new economic life. So if let's play with ideas. If we are to just look at the Bechle contract, okay, the which
Yeah,
is the
it's
more,
very simple to answer. Yes, but
it's simple to answer, but we don't know if we can get it, and we don't know how we can do it. What I can say right now, that the biggest focus is for us to try to trim down the creditors to a workable situation. And why we are talking about these economic cycles is because the debt before bankruptcy was low, and the debt after bankruptcy cannot be cancelled from pen, okay, or paper, and it's very high because of the contamination from the subsidiaries. And I will let Alex explain a little bit what these corporate guarantees created in, and how this function, because basically the subsidiaries have brought in claims in the mother company due to collaterals that the banks had from the daughter company. So basically the daughter companies had collateral from the mother company that the moment of bankruptcy it was triggered. So uh, maybe Alex can explain a little bit how these collaterals work and what the banks usually see when the mother is getting bankrupt.
Companies, the subsidiaries had various bank financing, all of them guaranteed by the parent company, by Shape Robotics Denmark. When Shape Robotics faced insolvency, this was a default under the loan agreement. The banks accelerated their loans, called the guarantees, and
That's why you see
that's
also
why
this bailiff.
they became creditors of the parent company of Shape Robotics. Now the loans, the facilities remain accelerated. The banks remain creditors of Shape Robotics, and they are trying, of course, to recover everything now on the spot if possible.
yeah, but before to discuss about necessary money or about investment, first we have to receive back our books. Yes, and to see exactly what is the
Yeah,
situation in subsidiaries. After, if we don't receive it, we can discuss about 100 million or nothing.
it's basically for everybody to understand, not receive. Okay, let's be honest here. We are 100% sure that there is no activity to conserve the assets, to prevent, to preserve the assets. We noticed that because they were translated to zero. Okay, but this contamination of contractual contamination cannot be overturned by the decision of the High Court.
No.
So, Mihai, make us look beautiful, me and Alex. Schimb o sursă. Okay, that's exactly. So, the contamination is it reversible? How would it work?
Not
For instance,
automatically.
let's look at Unicredit. Unicredit had a contract with subsidiary, okay, Romania, and because of the bankruptcy in Denmark, it defaulted Romania, correct?
Yes.
And then how can this be solved right now? Where is this credit? It's not anymore with Unicredit, correct? What happens in such a situation? If you can explain a little bit to everybody what a corporate guarantee default looks like and how it can be overturned, if ever, if there is any legal possibility,
The
because we
credit,
know it isn't.
the credit is with Unicredit. Unicredit can recover the money either from Shape Robotics Romania, this seems impossible at the moment, or from Shape Robotics Denmark as parent company, if provided a corporate guarantee. For the time being, they are trying to recover the loan, the credit from the parent company. Of course, we'll have negotiation with all of the banks. We'll see, but it's difficult to convince all the banks to to reschedule credit already accelerated.
So just for the sake of simplifying things to the viewers, a daughter company, let's look at Sanaco. Sanaco had loans, received loans for the financing of the Bechtle contract. Okay, those loans got defaulted because of the bankruptcy of Denmark. Those loans means that the banks, in the case of Sanaco Veritas and Alisa, like in the case of Romania, Unicredit, you find them already sitting in the estate of Shape Robotics Denmark. We inherited them. So what we're asking is not the documents of the accounting that Thais didn't do, but the documents on how these claims were registered, to understand if those claims can be somehow reduced to subsidiary level. Can we move those claims around? Can we find a way to do a settlement agreement on those claims? So that's the documents that we need, and that's why we don't receive the documents from Croman, because I believe Alex can also confirm they will have problems in the subsidiaries, the trustee in Denmark, because, for instance, in Romania, for sure, we will get to a point where we also file the criminal charge against them for reckless administration, correct?
We will assess, but probably yes.
So the idea is you are liable as de facto caretaker of the subsidiaries to do something in the subsidiaries when the bankruptcy is happening, even if you don't want to do anything. No, how does it work?
Liable to manage them.
Yes, you have to do it. No, it's their obligation. It's not like coming out of nowhere. So what would you expect? Unicredit or the banks in Finland, will they just focus on recovering their money from the subsidiary, or they will claim everywhere they can?
First, it is important to see and to understand if they can recover the money now. Probably the answer is no. If they cannot recover the money now, they have to enter into negotiation.
With whom? Subsidiary or both?
Mainly with the parent company.
The parent is.
Parent company, and to enter into negotiation and into a sort of rescheduling of the debt for a longer period, so that to provide time to the parent company and to subsidiaries to resume the project. And of course, this will be the beneficial also for the banks. It will be the only possibility for the banks to recover something. You don't have material assets. You have mainly IP rights, software, and robots. If you don't sell them in a short period of time, in 1 year, after 2 years, you cannot sell them anymore. So yeah, for the time being, the banks don't have anything to recover. If they are smart, they will enter into negotiation, reschedule, and recover a part or all of the entire credit in a few years.
So just for rephrasing to Jens and to the investment needed, it's quite difficult to say right now. What I can tell you is that there is room for dialogue with these banks, because they understand, they have very good legal teams, and those legal teams understand that those assets are not worth zero. So the interest of the banks is not to accelerate bankruptcy. The only bank that accelerated bankruptcy was Danske, because of things that we are not aware of. But Unicredit and the other creditors do not have an interest to just pay Danske, more or less. Okay.
Yes.
So I would say that we need a board, and the first meeting will be to sit down and talk to all the creditors, from legitimate board to legitimate claim. Jorgen is asking, what if after EGM Nasdaq refuses to resume trading? It's impossible, in my opinion, to continue this situation after a fully functioning company. Although our position is that right now Nasdaq is kind of pushing the boundaries of their legitimacy also. What do you think, Alex? It's tough. This one is a tough one.
They have to speak with us. They cannot avoid speaking with a listed company, with a legally appointed board.
It's not possible.
Not possible.
So right now, our assessment is that they don't know what to answer. So that's it. Everybody has to understand that this case has never happened in Denmark, and most likely not in many jurisdictions in this way, where you have this accelerated downfall and then somebody has to pick up the recovery. Now, in my opinion, let's after the EGM they have to answer. So there is no more excuse then. Now there is this kind of, I don't know what to say.
Tragedie de timp român.
Yes, it's exactly Mourinho tactics. So for those people that like football, after 1-0, Mourinho was parking the bus. So they're trying to park the bus uh, in order to see what is happening. Do we have a product to sell, or are all the right to our products in the now closed daughter companies? No, no, there is no. All the rights and IP and the assets belong to the mother company, Jens, and there is not a problem on that. So more or less, it's another sport. Let's say metaphor. We are skating on thin ice. So, but I lost weight, so I'm okay right now. So let's see. Please, let's prepare some questions, everybody. Bo, you have a lot of questions. Everybody has put some questions. I need to take a bio break, so I will leave these gents to for 2 minutes here alone. I will be very fast, and we'll just have the questions. You have some questions, Mr. for Marcel Magnifique here, Mr. Netzin, about your career at Lenovo and if you can do anything with Lenovo right now. If here is the question, I will be back in a jiffy.
Yeah. After I decided to leave the Romanian government, I was appointed as GM in Romania in 2006, as I remember. Yes, and I think that I believe that I had a lot of success. Practically, I ran the first country becoming number one in IDC market in Europe for uh, for uh, for computers. Um, yeah, what can I say to you more? It's not about corporation because I was part of a Romanian, so I didn't manage Lenovo. I managed a country at the end. And before joining the Romanian government, I owned my company, which was big enough, around 20 million euro per year. I was located in Cluj at that time. And when I joined the government, I sold the company. So I forgot to say that even I did this in the past, building the company and as well selling the company. What's Marcel? Marcel, another question?
Marcelino
Yeah,
is our greatest fan,
yeah,
hater fan.
I know.
I will call you Marcel from now, the Grinch. Can you change your name to the Grinch, please?
We like very much Grinch movie.
What's the advantage you will bring? No advantage.
You mentioned something about Lenovo, yeah? Yes, I remember your question. So yes, in the beginning is not a discussion because it was a very clever idea here in Shape. They built a product named Tinker, very close to Think product from Lenovo, and we had a very good cooperation with Lenovo for 2 years. Practically, our product, Shape Products, was listed as a sub party in Lenovo catalog. Unfortunately, for the moment, it was a reorganization in Lenovo, and the guy which took care of smart collaboration now is part of a bigger, let's say, department, which includes smart collaboration, workstation, and VR. So yes, if we succeed, and I hope that we succeed to be back in the business, Lenovo could be a very good partner for us in order to promote income products.
Aurel, are you still a shareholder?
Yes, yes. Good or bad, but I'm still because I bought the first share 2 years before joining the company. So I bought from the beginning shares.
What do you answer, Aurel, to the claims that everything in Shape Robotics, there was no sales, it was fresh air, it was finance was trying to make this idea that the numbers are. Was there any product in Romania or any project? Did you see any sales from Shape Robotics in Romania, or it was a dream of
I
somebody?
think that more than 1,000 digital labs were provided by Shape Robotics from
So you
itself.
see robots of. I thought it was.
The education is full of smart lab.
Yeah, crazy. Uh, Jorgen, if all goes well, how will the company look like in 27, 28? Oh my God. I don't know what I will do after this life. Jorgen, I offer you a job. After this, I will retire in glory and you can take the position as wild CEO number one. I'm zero. Um, Bo, what are the first 5 tasks for the new board to execute? This is a very good question, Bo. This is an old school question. But the first 5 tasks after decapitating some people, like in the second revolution, um, I will ask uh, Mr. Netzin this time. What are your 5 priorities? Let's say for the situation right now.
Let's say full engagement, yes. Fair communication with the market as with investors, adopting the restructure plan, planning monthly board members,
Board meetings.
board meetings. Sorry, board meetings, and very close relationship with the management in order to execute what we plan.
And make a management. First of all, we need
Yeah.
a. You, Mr. Alex, 5 things. I think you have 25 things on your line
Yeah, but before 25 things, I have one important thing
to call Ties.
to recover the documents.
Yeah.
So the first thing I think that Alex will do is call. Can you let's make a little bit after we are getting closer to the finish line. Of course, 20 minutes of questions for sure. Um, can you tell them how you received an email late at night from Thais quickly to communicate? I don't know which papers, and he sent you a new. You had a very nice dialogue. You tried to have some nice dialogue with him. He didn't pick up the phone, but he was sending in you emails. Correct? Very weird dynamics.
Yeah, I tried to call him, he didn't answer. And then he sent me an email letting me know that next day, in a few hours, there is a court hearing in Denmark, and that we should be attending the court hearing.
Like there is no tomorrow. Yeah, you have to do it. No.
2 lines email.
Yeah, this is the way it's happening, guys. But Eric, I'm impressed with. Sorry, by your energy and hope you will succeed. But you are against old money and network. Not easy. We are not so young money. You can see. I'm bringing also the old money here. So I'm fathered by the old money here. So questions. Shoot. Who else? Bo. Let me just scroll to this. The Grinch has stopped. I'm disappointed. Difficult to hear. Let's give them some time to answer. But I think that keep up the good work. Thank you. Let's take a look to see what if there are any new votes or people that are voting. Don't forget, guys, that we have the crowdfunding campaign. This is very important, and for those that joined, I think it's quite an unique offering. You should be interested in it. Otherwise, I'm not answering to your questions anymore. I will become silent. Let's uh, let's wait for the questions. I'm looking also for from other platforms, but everybody is on Substack now. You receive a lot of thanks for signing up for the task. So Jens is saying thank you for the board members for signing up for the task. They had nothing to say. I just registered them and I tell them you have to do it. So don't worry. No, it's not.
It's a promise.
It's a promise. Yes. What do you think? Is it all money, new money? Is it that so relevant, or we have the advantage of the documents in the end?
I think we have to look to the new money. The old money, I don't know, it will be enough to cover.
No, I think they're looking at the Gatsby style, the establishment.
No.
So we don't care about the establishment, no? That's another Romanian. What do you think we will do in 2 weeks from now? Make some prognostic. Will we find a way to discuss and restart the trading? Are we going, especially that's the question, and everybody said to do high risk capital, to do everything, or we will get blocks and blocks and blocks? What do you think? Are they going to mellow down a little bit after DGM?
I think they will start soon discussing with us. You already had a huge win. For the first time, a public decision is overturned in Denmark. Probably now they don't know what to do. I think that once a new board is appointed, they will discuss with us and they will try finding the solutions. Because the damages caused by this situation are huge.
What part of their damages do you think right now they can continue on? Because just to make very simple things for everybody to understand, the fact that they do not answer Kronman Reumert, we have sent them notice of default. That means that every day is a bill they have to pay to us. So it's not in their interest to continue to do that. Silence works if they can find some sort of a way to take over the company again. But right now, the chances of that happening with a legitimate board, I think, are close to zero at this moment.
If you look at the Nasdaq stock, not even Nasdaq provided an official answer.
Yes, that's not an official answer. That's a delay tactic.
Yes.
So just keep this in mind. We don't have an answer from Nasdaq, and we filed criminal claims against Nasdaq and Kronman Reumert on contention of the court. This is not really something that is sophisticated. I have explained to everybody. I already had a discussion with the officer from NSK in charge of the whole case. They have to follow the rules of the court. Now, in the end, they cannot say that they cannot give us the documents or not restart trading because of that element that was overturned by the court.
Of course, the support of the shareholders will be important.
Yeah, so that's why
you will see a significant number of shareholders voting.
a valid
They
board.
will have to, because at the end of the day, the Nasdaq is serving the investors. They will have to listen and to give you the right back to trade your shares.
So it's not, how to say, a coincidence that we started also this kind of funding and crowd sourcing campaign, because the power lies with the investor right now. So we have just managed to give you time, more or less. This is just as a conclusion for the moment. My role and our board candidates, hopefully board members soon, role is to give you time to act. Because right now, basically, the shareholders are the players that lost the most out of it. And I believe that is also something very important. I think it's the trust in the Nasdaq stock exchange, because all this imagine that right now every Bloomberg terminal in the world sees this um, discussion between a publicly listed company on the main market and Nasdaq, criminal claims, all these things. It's not something we wanted to do, but we had to do, because otherwise we are just in a situation where they can keep on delaying and delaying. And we got you some time in the end, and this time is crucial. And after the EGM, we can work and push and push and push, and there is no way they can delist us or stop us trading, because they will lose face. People will lose trust in the whole system in the end, and it's not okay. For Nasdaq is not the government. First of all, it's a private company.
Right.
It's a private company. Question: Can you include on EGM for 27 to change the country the company is registered in? No, no, we cannot. But when, if trading of the shape opens again and it drops 90%, is that good or bad? The market is always right. Please bring Kim next time, or do, yeah, we'll do something with Kim. And what about the creditors, the employees, Louisiana? Hi, nice. What about what? I think you've been from the beginning. We answered a lot of the all these questions before. So if you have time, please look at the answers before. If not, just you'll just see them in the article part. Our plan is to try to discuss with the creditors as fast as possible, and to try to settle agreements and put the. I will explain again, just for those that connected now. There is a lot of contamination coming from subsidiaries in the creditor pool. So we have to eliminate that contamination in a way or another. So that is a very sophisticated legal
Yeah. So
work.
banks trusted you once when they provided
Loans.
the loans. Now the banks see that you are fighting for this and you're already winning. They will trust you again. I mean, for sure they didn't lose trust in you. They lost trust in the previous board. I don't see why they wouldn't discuss with you and agree on rescheduling the loans.
Louisiana, right now, everything is on the table. So we want to help. I think the other players we want to help, because till now there was only one option. In conclusion, we have a huge advantage here right now. Besides time, we also have a proof of the alternative. So everybody's alternative was zero. So from zero to getting something, it's an infinity, mathematical. So we are the infinite team here. You can make a T-shirt for Jorgen. Can you make the T-shirt? So we're giving an infinity more than the trustee gave to anybody. So it's in their interest to have a dialogue. But of course, talking to AFO and all these players that are governmental, it takes time. It takes, but we're open, of course, and we showed it that we're open. We're open, but in the same time, we're trying to be as closer to. Pay attention, very important. My goal is closer to the creditors, and this gentleman after the board will their goal will be closer to the shareholders. So this team is not necessarily. A one-sided team like it was in the case of the trustee that was close to zero, so yeah. Or zero. Okay, 3 more minutes till 9 when we get out. So questions fast, 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 fast. We accept questions from geography, history, philosophy. Every penny would be a win. Good luck on that. Don't forget to vote, and also don't forget to support the activities as much as possible. You have fund shape. Uh, did we answer to if it drops to 90? I said the market is always right. Bring Kim. Yes, I think that 2 more minutes. Let's see. Andrea just joined. Hello, Andrea. We're just leaving. I guess people got home and they see a live event, and now they're joining to see what is going on. They saw your beautiful face, Alex, and they said,
It's a too long
huh?
event,
Yeah.
and they are curious why it is so
Who
long.
are these crazy people
As
talking
they are
about
discussing
nothing?
for 2 hours.
Yes, and Joe Rogan is not here. Good. Let's see. Okay, guys, in conclusion, I will pass the microphone to Aurel to say goodbye
Yes.
and Merry Christmas, no?
Merry Christmas, no, Happy Easter for the Catholics guy. Thank you for your time. Thank you guys as well for this nice discussion and go to vote.
We vote with Simeon, yes?
No,
Oh.
we vote with Shape Robotics.
Alex, a couple of Merry Christmases also.
We will see in April in Denmark, I hope.
Now he is transmitting this to the other guys that have to see us. Merry Christmas will be afterwards, but for now, Happy Easter. Me and Aurel are celebrating Easter now, as we are Catholic, and we'll have the chance to have two Easters afterwards. So it's going to be quite some good, nice weeks. I wish you all good health and luck, because all the people on the Titanic were healthy, I suppose. Bye.
Bye.
Good evening.
Have a nice evening.
Uh,
Dreapta sus în